Last time on the Incorrigible Party.
Dealing with the rest of the threat on the lowest deck of the shell sub, the party discovers Shaft's brother, Danzig, undergoing some kind of transformation, his naked form wrapped in a translucent cocoon in a barrel full of green water and flower petals. Unsure of what to do with him, the party figures out how to control this ship, dubbing it the Rising Three, and handing the captainship to Grimby Chum. Further investigation of the ship reveals a worn map dotted with crossed-out circles at various coordinates surrounding Aspara, miles out to sea. Falzer and Shakara contemplate its meaning, and concerns of possible search locations for the Tritons arise. Now only a few hours away, Grimby pilots the Rising Three towards Port Heracleon.
Oh, what was that you wanted? More adventure? You got it.
After about an hour and a half of travel now, you can see, even under the water, this landmass approaching in the clear ocean, as it's still the afternoon, maybe running into the late afternoon. You can see the Isle of Heracleon, even under the water, approaching.
I think we should chuck these bodies over the side. We don't want to pull into port with all this. And sort of look around.
Yes, that could raise some unnecessary questions.
What do we do with the guy that I have here and tied up?
We should take him to the guards.
Yeah, I think the authorities in the city here they'd deal with him.
But what do we say?
Yeah, what are we going to charge him with?
Yeah, what did he do?
He tried to kill us. For no good reason. Tried to kill a bunch of heroes.
It's all about perspective, I guess, really.
Yeah, I'm kind of seeing... That's how I was thinking, Shaft. What are we going to do with Danzig?
Leave him in the box for now. He's probably... I don't know. Maybe I'll take him out and give him a proper burial.
Is he dead?
I can only assume.
I believe you had made that assumption before.
Yeah, but this time it's a little more clear to me.
So we will dispose of the bodies and Danzig overboard before making port.
Let me take Danzig in and bury him properly. Maybe, see if we can do the right thing. He was my brother.
Once upon a time.
Hey, that'd be much appreciated if you have me get these bodies off me boat. It'd be mighty hard to get a new crew and entice them on to the vessel with a bunch of dead ones lying around.
Alright, I'll go over and start dragging one of them across, and
Grimby slows the shell sub to a stop, and pop the hatch, pop the hatch back, and the top raises as you see sunlight again pouring down the steps that lead to top deck once again.
I go see if there's a mop somewhere and say, hey, have your occultist buddy mop up the blood of his dead buddies. That'll give him something to do.
As if he would do it.
Well, he can either do it, or he can join them.
Wow, Shaft, that's very...
cold.
Yeah.
I mean, look, he was just about ready to kill all of us, like you say.
I agree, but...
He is not trying to kill us now.
Maybe I'm being too hasty. Hey, pal, do you mind swabbing the deck here and helping us out?
You'll get no help from me.
Huh, okay. I lay the bucket down and go over and pull another body and chuck it over the side.
But yeah, I'll help you clean up.
I want to go down to Danzig's tub and look in at Danzig again.
I was going to say, Falzarin wants to... I think what he saw of Danzig wasn't convinced that he was dead.
So you also want to go check in on him?
Yes.
You're going down on your own?
I will say,
No, I am.
As you guys have seen him, you can tell from looking at me I'm not very strong. I can maybe come up and help wash the deck once you get rid of the bodies. I'm going to go check around, make sure we're not missing any gold or any items that are in the ship.
Whatever you say. And like Mia's mopping the deck already. She took the mop when the guide refused to.
Shakara's just gonna walk down. She's not gonna say anything. She's just gonna walk down there.
Mia's just oblivious. She's like up there whistling, like, you know, she's just happy.
And Grimby is also aiding in you know, the cleanup here, the massacre cleanup. Shakar and Falzer, you pull up the cover that you had put over the large barrel, basically, in which Danzig was housed, and you see that as far as him being in this translucent cocoon, that hasn't changed, and you see that in the water, the flower petals are no longer in the water around his body, and he still seems to be unconscious in this sack, this cocoon thing.
Can we tell if he's breathing?
You can see a light, chest movement, very shallow breathing.
Falzarin, the petals are gone.
Yeah, I didn't get the impression that he was dead last time I got just a brief look at him, and it looks like his chest is moving. I don't think he is dead.
I don't believe so either. This liquid that he's in is just clear like water?
No, if you recall, it looked more like brine, and it smelled of like rotting fish.
I'm gonna take out a flask and fill it with the liquid he's in. I think Campbell will be interested in this.
Yes, you're probably right. He might be able to discover what's going on with this suspension that Danzig's in. How far did you say we are from Heracleon, give or take?
Well, now the island's within sight, so you're like within half an hour of it, as you've stopped on the approach to it.
I think Falzarin would like to take his staff and stick it into the water a little bit and just nudge Danzig a little bit, see if there's any response.
And you get no response.
What do we do?
I don't know. I feel torn. Like I think Shaft has a right to have some say in Danzig's outcome, but I don't know if there's any saving him from this state that he's in or not.
I do not believe we can kill him, yet we cannot allow him to live either.
I don't know. It almost seems like a more of a kind thing to do to let him pass instead of carry on into whatever thing he's becoming. But I'm not certainly wanting to be part of killing him. He's defenseless.
Let us remove him from this barrel. He needs to come out one way or the other.
You think what's Shaft going to think about that, Shakara? I don't know. You think he's going to be mad that we're messing around with his brother?
I do not believe that Shaft would have final say in this. This is a bigger matter than just bloodlines.
You've got a point, but I want to respect, I want to respect the fact that Shaft is his brother.
If you will not help me, I shall do it myself. And I reach my hands in and start grabbing to pull Danzig out.
Shakara instantly turns into a fish.
Shaft, could you roll me an insight check, please?
13.
So as you are going about, helping clear these bodies, you do notice that, Shakar and Falzarin have slinked off for a number of minutes now from this kind of mid-deck in which where the helm is. And, moving from there to the top deck to throw bodies overboard, you can discern that they are below deck.
Have we chucked most of the bodies? I can't remember how many there were, but like how long would it take to chuck all the bodies?
Yeah, well, with the about 10 or so in the boat itself, plus the roughly dozen of the actual drowned up on the top of the deck, it would certainly take you probably maybe 20 to 30 minutes to drag them up and heave them over.
Okay, so while Mia is throwing some bodies over the edge of the boat on the far side, I'm going to grab Surma, by the wrist and start dragging her over to the opposite side of the boat. And as I'm getting ready to sort of lay her over the side, I'm going to try to look in her pockets and see if I find anything.
And you do find 2 items. You find a small cloth bag. It's cinched tight and kind of knotted with this white rope. Holding it, even if when it's closed, it has the very faint scent of the sea and the rotting fish, very similar to what the smell emitting from Danzig's barrel. You also find her wand, this curled, wooden, carved, tentacle-looking thing, of which you are familiar with.
Yeah, I'm going to take that and the bag and try to, stick it down into one of my pouches. Is it small enough I can conceal the wand without anybody being able to see it, like down in my pants?
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
And the bag it would fit in the palm of your hand. It's about the size of a small coin bag, basically.
Well, luckily we're on the sea, so nobody will smell anything too.
There you go.
On me. So yeah, I'll put that in my pocket. I think I would probably continue to work. I think I'll throw a couple more bodies over, and then probably go down and try to get some of the bodies from inside the boat.
So Shakara, can you make me a strength check, please?
12.
You can certainly get your hands into the water and pick up Danzig, as he is only a halfling, so it's not like a full, like a 6 foot tall person that you're pulling out of. And you wrap your hands around it, and this cocoon, this translucent, it's almost like this layer of slime. It's very slick, but you are able to get your hands over him, lift him up and out of the water. As you do so, there still seems to be no response physically from Danzig himself.
Shakara, Shaft is my friend. I don't think this is a respectful thing to do.
I am not going to kill him. Yet we cannot leave him here. One way or another, he has to come out of the barrel.
I guess. I think Shaft should be involved in this decision.
I shall take him up to Shaft then.
Okay. Shaft can be kind of grumpy sometimes. I'm just warning you.
Okay.
So I'll pick Danzig up, sling him over my shoulder, and carry him up to the mid-deck.
And you get up one level and basically immediately spot Shaft tugging on one of these cultist bodies. And Shaft, you see now that Danzig's slung over Shakara's shoulder.
Shaft, Danzig is not dead.
Hey! That one doesn't go over the side. Let's put him back.
I was not going to throw him over the side.
What are you doing with him?
We need to take him off the boat.
We will. We don't know what's... he could be dead. He could be in some kind of stasis. If you take him out of the barrel, you might be killing him. Why are you trying to kill my brother?
I am not trying to kill your brother.
Look, with the utmost respect, please put my brother back in the coffin.
I do not believe
barrel.
that is the best choice.
And I'll put him down on the deck.
So I'm going to look at him. Does he... I didn't notice before if he was dead or not. I assumed he was dead, right?
He was just unmoving and his eyes have been closed this whole time.
So I'll take a closer look, and I'll say, what makes you think he's still alive?
He is breathing.
And you too, Shaft, you now see these shallow breaths, or, shallow rise and fall of his chest that you did not notice before. But you also see that the skin around, like in his face and at his extremities, that it looks like it's starting to shrivel.
I believe it would be best to halt any further progress of his transformation.
So I pick him up, and I look at her, I sort of throw him over my shoulder, and I said, I'll say, I'm going to put him back down in there. You notice the gills, right? He's He's already turned into something we don't really know what it is. He was preserved there. I'm going to put him back. And I walk down the steps.
And I'll just shake my head, and I wash my hands of Danzig now.
And I take him back and put him back into the barrel. I'll take the flower petals out, throw them back in, cover the box lid, and retie the rope that I had on it before, and cover it back up. I see Falzarin down there, and I'll go, I'm just going to take care of him myself.
Shaft, I tried to stop her. I don't know what the right thing to do with Danzig is, but I think you have a right to have a say in it.
I mean, look, he's obviously not a good guy anymore, and I realize that. But if somebody's going to put him down, it's going to be me. And then I sort of put it over, and I sort of put my head down like, I'm sort of distraught. And let's now come with me. Let's go throw some bodies over the side of this deck.
All right.
And walk back up.
When you come back up the stairs, I'm going to say,
You are too close to this situation. You cannot see what best needs to be done.
I'll just sort of say, I understand where you're coming from, but you need to respect me with this. And I walk right past her and pick up another body.
And you are able to clear this deck and boat of the dead/undead and get it looking a little more respectable. And Grimby's, he throttles up the engine, closes the top again, and continues to Port Heracleon, in which at full speed it does not take very long to reach. And you arrive at the port, and you're able to find an empty dock in which to park this long boat. Remember, this sub is about 100-ish feet long, 25 feet wide. It's very, very long and narrow. You see that the docks themselves, which looks to be incredibly busy, unlike the current state of Pisces docks, where there's no work going on in Pisces right now after the attack there. But it doesn't appear that anyone here, either the news hasn't reached Heracleon yet, or nobody cares, as they are still going about their transport and commerce. So the docks themselves they look extremely well maintained. It's just kind of juxtaposed to the shabbiness and these rundown looking buildings that surround it, that make up Port Heracleon itself.
Well, welcome to where I've spent the last half of my life, guys.
Can we see the city off in the distance, or is it just a small port area?
This is a small port area, and you can see that this basically it's like this island is in constant rise in elevation, and you can see the road that cuts through this port section, and far up in the distance at what would be the top of it's almost like the entire island is mountainous itself. The ground beneath you looks very barren and rocky, as if it's just like this. The island is literally just like a giant slab of rock that has been built upon, and you do see some stone walls in the distance for the Heracleon center itself.
Now, don't be misleaded by what you're seeing right here. I know it doesn't look great so far, but once we get into the main part of Heracleon, it's stunning. It's a sight to behold.
This is not quite what I expected.
I thought you were from here, Falzarin.
Well,
You've only been
it's a
here.
long story. I grew up on the mainland initially when I was young.
Is it anywhere I would have heard of?
Well, Mia, I was born in Port Randis, actually, and I spent a good part of my childhood there, but events led to me winding up in Heracleon and spending most of my adulthood there. I think of Heracleon more of my home than anywhere else.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that. I mean, the way you talked of it, I thought you'd lived in Heracleon your whole life.
A good portion of my life. But like I said, this, it's doesn't look too great from the view you're getting right now. Wait until we get into the city. You won't be let down. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous.
I'm excited.
How long is it going to take for you to go talk to your buddies?
Well, Shaft, I know you don't like to dilly-dally, but it is going to take at least a day or two for me to go to the meeting spot and wait for them to come meet me. I think there's some things we can do with the time that we've got in Heracleon that would be of good use of our time. We might be able to find out more about some of these foes we've come up against and the mysterious things that are happening on the mainland. There's a wealth of knowledge in the library of Heracleon that just might be able to tell us something.
Well, I'm not excited about getting back out there with that thing in the water, but well, we need to let Grimby here know when we need a taxi ride back, and I'm not nothing against your place here, but I don't want to stay here any longer than we need to.
Yeah, I understand.
I have heard of the legendary libraries here. I would very much appreciate some time there.
I love books.
You won't be disappointed by the knowledge center. It's grand. It's beautiful thing to behold, and the books held within it are almost innumerable. You couldn't count them in a lifetime.
Very well. Let's be off then.
Hey, Grimby, hold down the fort here. We're going to be coming back here probably in a day or two.
I be here trying to rally up a crew for myself, and I wait for you. Don't you worry.
Just be careful around these parts, Grimby. Some of these folks aren't the most honest.
I used to dealing with the sort of type. I tell you, you just go about your business. I'm in no rush. I get to know me boat a little more. Get acquainted with the rising tree here.
I'm going to put my hand on his shoulder and say,
I very much appreciate all your aid you have given us thus far.
What about the guy that I have restrained here? What was the plan with him?
Let's take him with us. We need to turn him into the officials here, and they'll decide what to do with him. It's not our problem anymore.
grab him by the upper arm, make him stand up and say,
You are coming with us.
and push him ahead of me.
And so you go up to the deck again. Grimby opens up this top hatch and, kind of basically split in two as it rises, and hear the creak and groan of the mechanics of it as it opens. And you can see that, just, again, the port is very busy, but this peculiar ship certainly has drawn a few eyes. People seem to be very curious. But being the city that Heracleon is, quite a few different curiosities come and go from this port. So maybe it's not, despite it being very foreign to, as far as, directly compared to a regular seafaring vessel, that a lot of strange things people are used to seeing and dealing with some of these stuff. And you climb on to the deck and into Port Heracleon, and like I said, it's very, very busy port still. There are many boats being loaded. Kind of in the next bay over to you, you see a process of being loaded, and very much like some of you saw so long ago in Port Randus, with these kind of rope and pulley like crane systems picking up these large crates and loading them onto the deck. And this particular boat, there's this elderly kind of looking gnome. He's shouting out orders. He's barking out in this kind of this higher pitched voice. And Falzer, and you immediately recognize this gnome to be Alstoff Tinnerman. For those that had met Rugar, he, I believe, had briefly mentioned that a gnome tinkerer had helped him with his extravagant wagon, in which he traveled in dispensing his famous alebender brews. And Falzer and you know that this is that gnome tinkerer, very well known for his crafts in Heracleon. And as a wooden crate is kind of getting, it's like almost like this, think of like this claw machine kind of picking up this crate and raising up, and a rope pulled taut. It snaps under its strain, and the crate that it's loading falls directly onto one of the dock workers, completely crushing them.
We see this?
Yeah, basically it's kind of happening right in front of you, and you see Alstoff. He kind of raises his hands into his hair, and is just yelling at the imbeciles manning this crane, and cracks open on impact, and it spills these metallic contents. And from what you can see, it looks like there's a series of like various parts and pieces. Some pieces there's kind of these circular. They look like spokes, like it would be like a wheel, but without the actual like rubber tread around it. So it's like kind of this circular center with these spiky spokes sticking out of it. And you see a fully formed actual metallic snake in this form of a cobra. Just, again, bits and pieces as it looks to be lifeless but barely held together. And kind of under all this wreckage is the one splayed arm of this dock worker that before your eyes you see this now familiar transformation from pale flesh to blue flesh, and this long, now kind of snapped in two fin coming from the forearm of a deep scion.
What?
I grab Falzarin by the sleeve and sort of pull him down and go, a mechanical snake. And just look at him.
Yeah, that sounds familiar to me.
Are these guys here in your hometown linked to the paladins of Colstis?
This is the first I've ever seen any evidence of that. This is bad. This is very bad.
Who can you trust here?
Honestly, Shaft, I thought Brendel was the one person I could trust on Heracleon.
Yeah, I think you need to be really careful in who you think you can trust.
Hey guys, that arm isn't an arm anymore. What the heck happened?
Mia, I think we need to be very careful about what we say here, if anything at all.
Okay, well...
These guys are bad.
So when the box falls, Shakara is going to first run towards where the box is to try and save this guy, if she could, which obviously she can't. But then when the transforms, she's going to slow down and stop, and then slowly walk back to the others.
Yeah, and as you guys are kind of having this whispered conversation in viewing this scene, you know, the rest of the dock workers, they, of course, immediately rush over, and you see Alstoff still shrieking, "You idiots! What have you done? My pieces! Pick them up now! Put them in another box! Get them loaded!" He seems to be unfazed at the death. He seems to not care much about it, but these other dock workers, they start picking up the pieces, and they too notice this arm, and many of them, noticing it, they stop in confusion, and you see one more curious than the other. He kind of picks it up, grabs a finger tentatively, and lifts this arm and kind of touches this strange fin, and they look incredibly confused at what is happening right now.
Can Falzarin notice? Is it visible that I can see that they're confused and they're looking at this arm?
Yeah,
as
absolutely.
though they're surprised.
You can all see that they're taken aback by, like, they don't know what this is.
And Mia looks just as confused because she wouldn't know what that is either.
So I look to Shaft and I say, the plot thickens. I thought perhaps this was a group of these creatures, but it looks like he was hiding in plain sight amongst all of them without their knowledge.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, like I said, we don't know. You need to be very careful in who you relay information to. And do you trust these underwater guys that you're friends with?
I do. I think by virtue of the purpose of their entire race, they're a good society that only seeks to protect this land. But when it comes to any of the many people living on this island, I don't know who I can trust, if anyone.
Would we be able to be present at the meeting?
I don't want to offend you guys, but I think I need to be very careful that there's some people with ill intent who, for whatever reason, wanted to get in touch with the Tritons, and I think it's safest for as few people to know as possible about how to get in touch with them, where to find them, and as much as I appreciate the help that you all have been, I think it's safest for just me to be the only one who knows that for the time being.
Yes, you will contact them, but that will not be the meeting. You will talk to them at a later date, correct?
Well, I'm going to leave a message at an agreed upon spot that I've used many times over the past many years, and the way that works is that someone finds the message and knows that I want to meet with them, and we meet the next day.
So the next day, could we be at that meeting?
You know, Shakara, I don't know. This is a lot to think on. I've got a night's sleep anyway, before I'll need to meet them, so perhaps I can sleep on it and let you know tomorrow.
Mayhaps just one of us. Mia,
Hey,
perhaps.
Shakara, I hear your concern here, but, Falzarin's always been on the up and up with me, and I think that I trust him. And I think best thing we can do here is sort of be tourists of Heracleon and see what we can find out. All get back together and try to put something, put all the pieces together here. Did you notice that big metal snake?
Yes.
Yeah, what is that?
Well, we'll fill you in, but we think that might have something to do with the Paladins of Culstus. And, not to get into any conversations here on the dock, but this might not be a good place to just trust anybody.
Leland, would I have known about the Paladins of Culstus?
You certainly know of their existence, yes. Is that their presence, again, in kind of the northern part of Aspara, which, where, in the Barrack and Drakal areas, despite not having a direct effect on those cities, the Paladins themselves have certainly left their mark on Aspara in general. So everybody will certainly have heard of or possibly seen members of the Paladins of Cultus.
Okay.
So I'm picturing everybody sort of leaning down as I'm talking. Where's this guy we're taking back to jail?
Yeah.
Is he listening into our conversation?
Yeah, he's supposedly sitting right there. Shakara last had a hand on him.
I keep looking at him.
Well, I would have let go of him when I ran to potentially help the crushed man.
He runs off and dies
In
in the
that
water.
case, he was certainly trying
Yeah.
to escape, yes.
Well, shit.
It was a captivating conversation we
Yeah,
were
why
having.
couldn't we have done this in order?
Again, so all three of you will certainly be able to react to him trying to get away. So we'll just kind of wind it back a teensy bit.
Yeah, I would have tried to grab him.
Sure,
The
absolutely.
box drops.
Yeah, so the box
Shakara
drops.
drops. Let's go the guy, and she
Yeah.
runs.
Yep.
And we're sort of looking at this mechanical snake and the guy falling down, and this guy takes off. I pull my bow out.
All right, sure. Those that would like to act can have a little initiative roll off here.
I will roll just for Mia's sake.
I would say Shakara could roll with disadvantage if she is going to.
Okay.
Well, Shaft, I think you're probably going to be able to shoot him.
I don't know. I got a 5.
So did I.
So 21 for Mia.
What's your initiative bonus?
I got a +4, so
I have a +0.
Okay, so Mia, you have a chance to react first.
I would try to run and grab him. I would not be hitting him, casting a spell or anything. I would just try to grab him.
Okay, go ahead and make a grapple check.
8.
Well, despite him being bound, you reach out a gauntleted hand, and he squirms out of your reach and continues moving. Shakara, sorry, what did you get?
13.
Okay, so Shakara, you're up.
I mean, she's running the other way, though. So.
Well, I stopped and turned around, and I would see him running off, and I would use command. I would say, stop. He must succeed on a wisdom save throw.
You got a 9.
That did not beat me, so he, on his turn, will stop.
Absolutely. And he does so immediately.
Mia is impressed.
Shikara has got game.
And then I will just calmly walk up to him and grab him again.
Shaft curses under his breath.
No, I think I would pull the bow out, and I'd pull the arrow back and aim it at him and see that she stopped him. And then look at him and slowly let the string back down. And then put my arrow back in.
And I'll glare at Shaft.
We're not trying to kill him.
Well, no, but if he was going to get away, I don't think that's a good idea either.
I have him. I will take him to the guard now.
I say we get out of here. I don't feel like getting involved with this commotion going on. Who knows who we can trust?
Where do you want to take us, Falzarin?
I suppose, I mean, first things first, we might as well go to the city, and I can show you to the library if that's where some of you would like to go, Shaft. Is there something you'd like to see or do when we're in the city?
I just need a good bar. I just need to relax a little bit.
Okay. I know a couple.
Is there good bars here in Magic User Town?
Of course there is.
I mean, I assume you guys know how to party, right?
Yes. Yes, just wait until you hear the name of the local bars.
There is a well-known establishment in Port Heracleon known as the Creepy Aura.
I told you, Shaft. We in
like
Heracleon have the most original names for our inns and taverns.
Are we sure we want to split up?
Well, I'm not going to the library.
Well, I'm not going to the bar.
And it sounds like we're splitting up.
It will be fine. We are in a very wonderful town, correct, Falzarin?
It is. It's beautiful and for the most part pretty welcoming. The area we're going through, this Port Heracleon, is known to be a little bit more seedy. There's some shady folks that hang around here, but in the main city, you should be safe.
Let's get out of earshot of everybody and make up a plan here.
Yeah.
So, sort of walk over so we're outside of the fray and go, I'm going to say, so first off, do we mention anything about this Kraken? I mean, it's right out there, and you saw what it did to Port Randus.
I think we need to warn the town about the Kraken.
We can tell
agree.
the guards when we turn this guy in.
One of the stops I intend to make while I'm here is with the elders in Heracleon. They hold a lot of sway and
What are elders gonna do? We need to warn the people that can actually do something.
Well, we don't want to invoke panic either.
they have somewhat of a governing role over the city of Heracleon. So I think they should be one of the first stops for me to inform of what's going on, and then from there they do with that what they will. I just need a clean conscience here. I can't let Heracleon be subject to this Kraken without any warning.
But we saw that thing that was in the box, right? I mean, how do you know you can trust him?
I don't. And to be honest, Shaft, I don't get along with most of them very well. But if they aren't tangled up with these nefarious people who are scheming and plotting to do whatever they have planned for Aspara, I can't risk not telling them. If they are involved with the Paladins of Cultus, as sad as that would be, I assume they will try and bluff and pretend to be surprised about the Kraken if the Kraken is involved with the Paladins of Cultus.
I'm less worried about the Paladins and more worried about the Cultists and the Deep Scions. I've never seen one before, but that was crazy.
What does the snake and the gears have to do with the Paladins?
I have no idea.
So, I'll give you a quick synopsis of what we know. There's these paladins have created these towers that suck energy from the ground, and our friend Bryn has told us about how it laid waste to most of the Falurian forest. And what we were trying to do was find out a little bit more about these cultists. It doesn't sound like they're, helping the world out in a very good way. And these snakes, these mechanical snakes we have heard sort of protect these towers. And so I'm just trying to put two and two together here. It looks like the people that are working here in Heracleon are supplying these things to protect the towers. Therefore,
wow.
maybe in cahoots.
That's pretty damning evidence, for sure.
Yes, mayhaps we cannot trust your elders.
That may be, but I think it's good to keep in mind that a lot comes in and out of this port. Who knows if these mechanical snakes are originating from anyone in Heracleon? And if they are, who knows if the elders are involved?
If we can't trust the elders, we can't trust the guard.
Are the paladins working with the cult of the Kraken?
I don't know.
I mean, my point is, we tell the guards or we tell the elders, and we might end up locked away somewhere
Exactly.
nice and dark.
Is there any way that we could... I mean, if you give me enough time to prepare and study, I probably could cast a spell that ensures that they tell us the truth.
Really?
You can fly and call lightning, and then you can make people tell the truth?
Yeah, I can. But it's gonna take me some time to refresh my memory.
I look over at Falzer and go, this is better than what Bryn could do.
Well,
Poor Bryn.
I suppose on our first day here, we can bide some time doing other things before we go see the elders. That's an option. I had another stop I wanted to make while I was here as well, which I suppose could also wait until our second day. I think it's only right that Brendel's wife find out from me that he's no longer in the land of the living.
I think your most important duty is to contact the Tritons.
Yeah, I think that's... The sooner you do that, the sooner we can get the hell out of here.
Please point me in the direction of the guards and the library.
Yeah, why don't we start with that? Shaft, if you want to grab some drinks and some food and some entertainment, I can show you to a good place to do that. And I'd like to go to the library. If you want to come along, Shakara, that'd be great.
When you say entertainment, you mean what I think you mean.
Well, I don't really dabble in that, but, if you talk to the right people, you might be able to find whatever entertainment you're looking after.
I mean, you know a place, right?
I don't, but I'm sure someone in the inn will.
And I look at him, and I sort of look at him, and I wink, and I go, you know a place, right?
Shaft, do you not think it would be wise for you to try and figure out what the deal is with your brother and how to best proceed?
Yeah, after I get a drink, I'm gonna go find somebody that might be able to help. I don't know. I'm not much of a believer, per se, but maybe give him a blessing of some kind. I'll take care of that.
He does not need a band-aid. He needs to be dealt with.
Can you fix him?
I cannot.
Do you have something that can turn him back into my brother?
No, I cannot. I know of no such way.
This is Magic Town. There's got to be somebody here that can do that.
That is all I'm saying.
There might be, Shaft, but I wouldn't hold your breath. There's not as much of that kind of magic that's practiced here, but maybe. Who knows?
I can't hold my breath as long as you do.
That's true. I'm very good at swimming and holding my breath.
Okay, well, I will go with Shakara. Shaft, you're going to the bar. And
Yeah.
Falzer, and you're going to the drop box?
I do need to do that today. But that will only take a short amount of time.
Well, you know a place we can all go. Like, you have a place we can all go stay, so we at least know where to meet up.
Yeah, I mean, it's not big, it's nothing special, but we can stay at my place.
Oh, you still got to play. Oh, yeah. Mom and Dad's?
No.
In their basement?
I have not seen my parents
They're from Port Randus.
many years.
Well, let's go. I for one am interested to see what Falzarin's place looks like.
Okay.
I definitely am as Elena. I don't know if Mia is, but...
Shakara's getting impatient. She wants to go to the guard.
And that guy's still standing there listening to everything we say.
All right, Shakara kind of like stomps off or whatever. Mia's like, wait up, I'm coming.
Yeah, first stop, let's get rid of this guy. He knows
Yeah.
too much.
Shakara and I will go get rid of him right now.
I think we have to kill him now, to be honest.
Yeah, I look at Shakara and go, I mean, he does know a lot.
I wonder if I can use command to make him forget. I don't think it works that way.
He'd forget for the duration of the spell.
If I use Eldritch Blast enough times, he'd forget.
I mean, we're walking away with him, so do what you want, but...
We shall take him to the guard and then meet you at the library.
Shakara and Mia, Falzarin would explain to you that the guard presence is in the port itself, as the city proper does not have any there's no guard barracks there or walking around guards or anything, as it's a place of learning, and everybody that would make it to Heracleon itself filters through this port. So if you were to turn this guy into some type of law enforcement, it would be here in the port.
Okay, we will head off to wherever that is.
We'll find it, yep.
You arrive at this guard barracks, and this bound, robed man in tow, and inside there is a myriad of guards kind of going about some of their business, and they of course notice the two of you walk in, and one turns to you and expectantly awaits an explanation.
This man is the last of a group of cultists that attacked us. We wish for you to lock him up and see the justice is done.
What proof do you have that this man isn't the victim? He kind of looks him up and down at his robes. Well, there's many in here that look just like him.
This is why Mia wanted to throw him overboard.
You will have to take my word for it. My name is Shakara. I come from north of Port Randus. We came to Heracleon to warn you there is a kraken in the ocean.
Mia steps in and feels like she's pretty good at getting her way, so she says, Hi, fine sir, my name is Mia Brightwood. Perhaps you know my parents?
Can't say I do.
Okay, well, the Brightwoods are pretty famous on the mainland. Not trying to use my name for anything other than it is, but I mean, I don't know if you can tell by looking at us, but we are extremely tired. We've been through a lot, and we had such a long, treacherous journey, and we were attacked by these cultists. I mean, I don't have any other proof, but you have to believe us.
And the bound cultists, no, these people attacked me. I was just in the port, and they jumped me, and they stripped me of my belongings. Mio, why don't you go ahead and roll a contested your persuasion versus his deception?
That would be 20.
Well, he only rolled a 13. So this guard, he kind of looks back and forth between the two of you, and
like, he looks like crap and I look nice, okay? So I'm like smiling.
And he kind of, this cultist was, very, very quick and a little shrill and kind of frantic, but it seems like it's very clearly some type of ruse that this man, and you seem much more trustworthy than this person does to this guard. Well, how long will you two be in Heracleon?
Just a few days, and then we shall leave again.
And, what boat did you come in on?
What was the name of the boat again, Shikara?
I believe Grimby is calling it the Rising 3, but it has not officially been christened yet.
Well, okay. Well, we'll take this man into custody, but before you leave, well, we may need to speak again for due process.
Very well, thank you. Did you catch the part I said about the Kraken?
I did.
Do you guys see them a lot around here?
Well, no, of course not. I've never seen one before. But if you do have true concerns about that, then you will need to speak to the elders.
I believe our companion is going to do that.
Can I do an insight check on why he's so chill after hearing about a kraken?
Sure.
15.
You get the sense that he's telling the truth when he says that he's never seen a kraken, but also that this city is a very learned city, and even some knowledge, of lores and legends certainly drift down from the city proper, and you certainly also don't know, who he speaks to or who he has friends with, whether or not they be in higher places, but he seems very professional and not quick to panic, like some guards we may have met in the past.
So less of like a suspicious, but more of like a personality type.
Right, exactly.
Okay. Okay, Shikara, we should probably not spend any more time here.
Yes, can you point us in the direction of the libraries?
Yes, you just take the hill to the city of Heracleon, and you won't be able to miss it. It's a large building in the middle of the city.
I thank you.
And I'll turn the cultist over to the guard.
Sure. And you see him hand them off to a couple other guards as he takes some notations, taking down your names and, of course, the name of the boat in which you arrived and that kind of thing. Shaft, where are you going? What are you doing here?
I'm gonna stick with Falzarin as you guys walk away, and say, "Hey, take me to this creepy aura place. Can you show me the way?"
Yeah, Shaft. There was one other thing I was hoping to do while I'm here, and I think you might be interested. In the main part of the city, you won't find much for sale in the way of magical items, scrolls, that sort of thing. But out in the seedier part of the island, here, the part we've come through, Port Randis, closer to the sea, there might be some people that might have some things for sale. I'm not sure who that might be, but if we head over to the creepy aura, we might be able to find a contact that can point us in the right direction. Would you be interested in seeing what we might be able to buy?
Oh, well, hell yeah. I want to go to the creepy aura anyway, but I wouldn't mind picking up one of them nifty bags like you got.
Oh, yeah, maybe. I don't know what might be for sale. I've mostly just heard stories.
I'm sure we can figure it out.
Okay, so let's go. I'll show you the way.
All right, right behind you.
And the creepy aura, so the Port Heracleon is not very large. It is kind of really just a small cluster of buildings and various businesses related to, seafaring vessels and nautical gear and that kind of thing. But of course, as every port does and should have, there is an inn in which travelers can rest and lodge. And the inside of the creepy aura is as dirty and grungy as on the inside as it is, as the rest of the port seems to be on the outside. And you walk in, and it does seem to be fairly populated. It's a slight human bartender, behind the bar, serving drinks. And there are certainly a few empty tables.
Okay. I'll sort of walk in and look around the place. It looks a little scuzzy. I'll look back up at Falzarin and go, is this where you usually hang out here at home?
It's not, Shaft, but I think this might be the place we need to come to find the person we're looking for. So I go up to the bar and order an ale.
Yeah, make it 2.
Yeah, I got yours, Shaft.
Oh yeah, 2 ales, eh?
2 ales, thank you very much. And I'd like to just, as I'm waiting for my drink to be poured, I want to take a look around, see if I notice anyone who is perhaps trying to not stand out, who looks like they may be especially shady.
Sure, make a perception check.
That's 13.
Could you also make me a stealth check?
Ooh. 19.
Peering around this room, able to, kind of shooting quick glances with that stealth check, not making it entirely obvious that you are surveying the inhabitants of the creepy aura. You don't necessarily see anyone that stands out, as there seems to be mostly, it seems like it's populated by sailors. There are maybe a few people in robes like yourself that may or may not be from the actual city of Heracleon, but other than that, it just seems like working class sailors kind of thing.
I want to say to Falzarin, here, let's get up at the bar here. And I sort of whisper over to him, hey, follow my lead a little bit.
And Falzarin's kind of feeling a bit relieved, actually, because this is not his area of expertise. He's been a pretty straight-laced magic learner, just studying in Heracleon, spending most of his time in the library.
So I'll wait till the bartender's sort of near earshot and talk to him, and I'll say, yeah, I mean, over in the mainland, they have shops. It's called Magic. You can pretty much get anything you want. I mean, over here, it's sort of impossible, but guy could make a lot of money here, selling some things. But not that I would.
I think you've got a good point, Shaft. I'm surprised that no one's come along and filled that need here. We've got a lot of magic users who might be interested in something like that.
Well, as you know, that kind of thing is frowned upon around here. But hey, guy has a lot of money. He could really cash in, and just look around and see if anybody is paying any attention to our conversation.
Shaft, could you make me a performance check with advantage as Falzarin is aiding this conversation?
Oh, thank God, with advantage. Performance. Okay, that's an 18. It would have been a 4.
So as you purposely vocalize this display here in earshot of the barkeeper, you see him kind of slightly perk up a little bit as he makes his way back over to you. Oh, how them ales there, eh? Working out pretty good?
Oh, yeah. It's fantastic. Yeah. I mean, I'm probably going to need another one here in a minute.
Yeah, you in the market for anything else there, eh?
We sure are, actually.
Yeah, I mean, good time? What do you mean?
He's kind of, leans in a little bit, voice getting a little lower. So, well, I know a guy, eh? If you're looking for some type of the magic stuff, I can point you in the direction, eh?
Oh, yeah?
Tell me more.
What's that gonna cost us?
Well, I get a cut anything the guy sells, eh? So, it ain't gonna cost you nothing up front.
Yeah, sounds like you and I are on the same page. Where we meet this fella of yours.
Well, why don't you two blokes, they make a way to the restroom and you'll find your way, eh?
I sort of look over at Falzarin, semi-concerned, and go, alright, hey, Falsey, I'll be back in a second. I gotta take a piss.
I'm feeling like this beer went straight through me as well. I might come along with you, Shaft.
Where's the pisser? That's the barkeeper.
Oh, it's just over there in the corner, eh? You see the hallway.
Okay. So we'll go back to where the bathroom is.
And as you kind of get up from the bar and make your way to the back of it, you hear this faint ringing of a bell. It's very dulled and muted, but it's very imperceptible as you kind of get up, as you see this barkeep's hand. He kind of reaches under the counter, and walking down the hall to the restroom, there are two doors leading into bathroom stalls.
Do they have little pictures on them?
Yeah, they have little
Silhouettes?
Yeah, exactly. Like one's got a big sturdy dwarf and the other has like a lithe elf.
I thought one would have tentacles on it.
Yeah, I think we'll hit the sturdy dwarf.
Falzarin reaches for the one with the elf on it just as Shaft is going through the other, and then kind of stops like, oh, my mistake.
I grab his hand. No.
I knew Shaft was a dwarf. And that's our... whatever. Hey, Incorrigibles. Incorrigibleites. Definitely not Lelanders. Thanks for listening. We all super appreciate you following along with our adventure. If you could take a few seconds to rate us on iTunes or wherever you listen to us, that would be great. We'd love your feedback, and it really helps our show grow. And if you like us, recommend us to a friend. If you hate us, recommend us to a friend, or share us on social media. Leland's got so much more up his sleeves, and it's a totally original homebrew. We would love to have more friends following along. We'd love to interact with you guys on Twitter at IncorrigiblePar. On Instagram and Facebook, we're at IncorrigibleParty. All our socials can be found on IncorrigibleParty.com. And on our site, you can get merchandise, character info, world lore, etc. This podcast was sponsored by Critical Hit Design at criticalhitdesign.com. Thanks to Tabletop Audio for allowing us to use any ambient sounds or music during our show. Intro and outro by Josh Jarvis. Contact him at jamesmercymusic@gmail.com for inquiries. Catch you next time!